This is pretty cool. You can select the boot screen. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at this CarPro Go T3 Pro. Say that 3 times fast. Alright, so I've already opened the box. Here is the main unit. It says CarPlay and Android right here. Right there. Looks a lot like an iPhone box. We have a cord here. This appears to be a camera. Looks like a windshield mount. And this is a USB Bluetooth adapter. So we'll go ahead and take a look at everything that's inside this box. All right, get this out of here. So this has a magnetic mount on it, and it looks like there's some different options in here. Comes with a small mount accessory pack, so this would probably mount to the dash. This looks like a second one, so your wife's car, your car. It's got the arm here. Pretty strong magnet. All right, so got the main unit, these adapter pieces. This is a cigarette lighter power plug, USB-C. Has the on and off button here. So you could plug this into a constant cigarette lighter power, or you can leave it on and put it in one that's powered by the ignition. And we have, looks like a USB-C to USB-A adapter. Let's take a closer look at this unit. By the way, this company did reach out to me and wanted me to do a review on it, so just putting that out there. This is a fully laminated screen, no frame, so we'll see what that looks like when we get it in the car. So our connections here, this is a charging port, audio, AV input, microphone input, and USB. Now this is for the AV input, and that's going to be for the rear view camera. So I guess at this point, 2 things. Let's open some of these other packages. So this one I'm a little curious about. It is the Bluetooth adapter. And I could be wrong, but this appears to plug into this adapter, the USB-C to USB-A, like so. Plug it into the USB-C here, and this plugs into your 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input on your radio, if that's how you're set up. Let's see how much daylight we have outside, and we can give this a shot. Okay, for context, this is my current setup. I don't even use this because the audio that I ran from here to here, I think this is too small and it doesn't make a good connection. So right now we're just going to do some comparisons. So I've got this one still plugged in. This is the one that I currently use, and then this is the new one, and the one on the bottom is constantly on, and this one is on temporarily. So something you may have saw here is the USB-A. So we're going to plug that in, turn the key on, let these dings get out of the way. Alright, so here I found this P&D 6E9D pair. It's connected. Okay, now we're connected. Okay, so it is working when I go directly from here to here. I have to figure out how the Bluetooth thing functions, and then maybe I can get that to work. But maybe I've also got it not hooked up correctly. But from what I can tell, that was how it was intended to be hooked up. But anyway, you can see the screen. Yeah, tomorrow we'll get this installed and do some more operational things with it. Well, we're back inside. Kind of fumbled through getting everything set up. This was my first time messing with this, so you'll see tomorrow while I'm using it. I won't be driving down the road, but while I'm using that, I plan to take the camera with me to just get some real-time in the seat footage, just so you can get an idea of how it operates. Now, one thing I will say is it came with this windshield mount. I didn't need it because the small arm that came in the box was sufficient for what I needed. And it seems to be pretty important that when you are installing this, you actually want that screen to rest on your dashboard, because it does have some weight to it. It seems to be pretty substantial. Yeah, so I'll come back with some footage in the vehicle while it's in use, and we'll take a look at it. Now, like I started to say, I didn't use the windshield mount, and I didn't use this, and I didn't use this. It is a secondary mounting base that you can move from. You can put it in another vehicle, so you can move the unit from primary vehicle to secondary or what have you. Also, I did not use this cable, which I believe goes to this backup camera. From what I can tell just by looking at this, you've got this small jack that would plug into the unit. Then this right here would plug into the camera cable. And so it's going to be just like that. Now this red wire is going to be, I'm guessing, let me take a look, but this should be the positive reverse indicator light. So when you put your vehicle in reverse, this gets 12 volts, and then that sends power to the camera and also sends a signal to the unit on the dash that is going to cause it to pull this camera up while you're in reverse. Okay, so it does say 12 volt trigger wire, connect to the positive of the reverse light. So what should happen is when you shift into reverse, this is going to override the screen, and whatever this camera sees is what you'll see on the screen. I hadn't planned on installing this camera. If you'd like to see the camera installation, go ahead and put that in the comments below, and I'll make a separate video just for that. So with that being said, we'll check in with how things perform tomorrow in the real world, and then we'll touch back on this when all that's done. So I have opted to install this tonight. All I'm going to do is peel this backing off and mount it up here. So back here, you can tighten these and loosen these to get some more movement. So just going to tighten this down, tighten that, push down on my corners. And just for this evening and tomorrow, I'm going to try this out, and then when I get back home tomorrow, if I decide to run all these wires and hide them, we'll come back to that. But all right, here we will time the boot up. So it looks like about 22 seconds. And right now, I don't think, yeah, GPS can't find us. So we're gonna get moving and see if we can get picked up on here. And also, this defaulted, maybe because I was parked under the lights, but it defaulted to the daytime. Maps. And to change that manually, you just go from the top down. Let's hit recenter. Alright, so here it's picked us up. Just want you to see how kind of jumpy this thing can get. Right before I pulled into the gas station, it was going crazy. Forward, backward, forward, backward. See how it's kind of laggy and refreshing? Not real smooth. I'm not sure what that is about, whether it's the GPS signal or what, but I just wanted to show that. So, yeah, I did have the day to kind of check all this out. I've got an hour commute to work, an hour back. So, yeah, so I can verify two different methods of getting audio, and that's one through the auxiliary output and then the auxiliary input on the radio. But we're going to switch over to a different phone. We're going to go to iPhone so that we can see what the iPhone looks like. So now we're going to connect with iPhone. Here we go. Pair. Okay, well, this looks a little bit nicer than the Android Auto. I would be curious about the maps. There's a little bit of lag with the maps on Google or on the Android. All right, I think I'm going to take one more day. I'll be using the Apple Carplay. Yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with this. I'll give this a shot tomorrow. We'll get some footage like we did with the Android Auto. By the end of tomorrow, I will be able to finish up this video. So as promised, here is the Apple CarPlay. Just wanted to show you what it looks like with the Apple CarPlay versus the Android Auto, which is what I was using yesterday or earlier in the video. The maps seem to be much smoother on CarPlay than Android Auto. The menu, So here you can see this is a view of everything. Then we get into our menus. So here in just a second, I'll sit down and kind of go over everything with you guys and give you my final thought. All right, so from the screen, I just wanted to show you how to get into the menu. So in this screen, you can pick your audio output. I'm currently using the auxiliary, which comes out of this and into the auxiliary right here. But we'll go back into that. Here we'll start at the top. You got system, and that's going to be your language, date, and time. Bluetooth, on and off. You got your display, set your time, brightness. The brightness you can do manual or auto. You got your volume, so you got the volume for media, volume for navigation, and volume for your phone. And the output, like I said, that was, you can do this FM modulated. You've got the auxiliary cord like I used, and then the speaker. And this has just got your normal, whatever's on your phone. Let's see what this about is. So this just tells you your app version and the Bluetooth version, and apparently you can update this. These are, so you got your CarPlay, Android Auto, and this just takes you into the settings. You got your brightness, and these are all the settings we were able to get to from that last menu. One other thing I wanted to show here is the on-off switch. So you got your on-off switch in case your car has only a constant cigarette plug, and then it's also got a USB-A where you can plug in your phone charger, and it's a 2.5 amp output. So